A year after Vincent van Gogh died, friend and postman Joseph Roulin asks his son, Armand, to deliver an undeliverable letter, the final letter from Vincent to his brother Theo. As suspicions over the unusual circumstances of Vincent's death arise, within his own letters to his brother, he claimed to be calmer and at peace. Placing the death certificate statement that Vincent took his own life into question, Armand is sent travelling to deliver the letter to Theo. As Armand confronts a Montmartre art supplies merchant, he discovers that Theo died 6 months after Vincent, stricken with grief and loneliness, and is encouraged to travel to Auvers-sur-Oise to question Dr. Gachet, the doctor who treated Vincent and dismissed him as cured, on why Vincent would take his own life. Armand interviewing the locals of the town, piecing together an interpretation of events while waiting for Dr. Gachet's availability. This is Dorota Kobiela's and Hugh Welchman's Loving Vincent, an animated film which recounts the events leading towards Vincent van Gogh's death, piecing together conflicting perspectives and recollections in a manner not dissimilar to Kurosawa's Rashomon, as some recount Vincent through misinterpretations, opposing memories and casual encounters which may or may not be creating a reliable source of information for Armand to understand Vincent's intent. With 100 artists animating via painting on canvas, actors were filmed beforehand to capture their performances, the paintings capturing their life and movement afterwards, in a manner not dissimilar to rotoscoping. Many of the frames of Loving Vincent capture Vincent van Gogh's post-impressionist aesthetic, recreating his thick, impactful brushstrokes, and even replicating some of the most famous paintings for the setting of the film's more dramatic scenes, clearly intent on deepening a present-day intrigue for the artist unappreciated in his time. Loving Vincent effectively utilises Van Gogh's thick brushstrokes and post-impressionistic art style within its paint-on-canvas animation, even brilliantly recreating Van Gogh's most famous works to craft settings and character appearances, such as the use of the Night Cafe, the location in which Armand drinks early in the film, the cafe terrace at night, serving as inspiration for the exterior of the location, where Armand sobers up with his father. Wheatfield with crows serving as an inspiration for one of the locations in which Armand retraces the footsteps of Vincent on his final day before his gunshot wound, and Vincent's portraits of figures within his life, such as Dr. Gachet, serving as the visual inspiration for the presentation of Dr. Gachet's character within Loving Vincent. While the paintings within the film are visually impressive, the technical approach to developing these paintings for animation is no less astounding, detailing the process of creating animation through painted landscapes and portraits. The Loving Vincent website states that all the characters in Loving Vincent are performed by real actors, either on specially constructed sets designed to look like Vincent's paintings, or against green screens, with the Loving Vincent design paintings composited in through a live view system on the set. The live action material was then combined with computer animation for elements such as birds, horses, clouds, and blowing leaves, and composited together with the design paintings to create the reference material for the painting animation. The painting animators used the reference material as the basis for the layout of their first frame and the movement of the shot. The painting animator's task was to transform this reference material into Vincent van Gogh's painting style, and then to recreate the movement of the shot through animating each brushstroke. Once a frame is complete, the painting animator takes a 6K resolution digital still and then starts work on the next frame. There are over 65,000 frames in the film. At the end of each shot, we are left with a painting of the last frame of the shot. There are 898 shots in the film. The immensely detailed process of filming live-action scenes with actors for these exact shots to be recreated via paint on canvas is a process not dissimilar to rotoscoping, with the added task of creating each shot in a similar aesthetic to Vincent's own art. The process would undeniably be laborious and time-consuming, but the visual impact is truly gorgeous. The framing of Loving Vincent's narrative, Armand's attempt to return a final letter to Vincent's brother Theo by listening to the perspectives of the people who knew Vincent, manages to collate these viewpoints that can often conflict, presenting them in a manner that isn't dissimilar to the form of a documentary. Armand visits an interviewee and questions them on their knowledge, understanding, or interpretation of Vincent. While many of these conversations can feel like intimate interviews with figures historically connected to Vincent van Gogh, Gogh. The overlapping and conflicting perspectives given to Armand on his journey also feels highly reminiscent of Akira Kurosawa's Rashomon, a film focusing on the conflicting recollections of the events that led up to the murder of a samurai, with each account's reliability coming into question. The focus on unreliability is a key aspect of Loving Vincent. The meshing of the fictional with fact has been presented tastefully, and with the approval of expertise from the Van Gogh Museum, which on the museum's website it is stated, Loving Vincent blends historical fact with a fictional plot. The Van Gogh Museum has supported this film since 2014, and in its role as Knowledge and Research Centre, has been able to provide the makers with a wealth of information. Axel Rulga, the then director of the Van Gogh Museum, officially approved the concept and the film script. By collaborating closely with the Van Gogh Museum, receiving their approval, Loving Vincent manages to remain authentic to the known facts surrounding Vincent van Gogh's life and death, and in providing additional fictional elements, the film never feels far from the realm of reality, respecting the legendary artist's legacy. Armand, the protagonist of Loving Vincent, serves as a stand-in for the audience, specifically for the viewers who may be unaware of Vincent van Gogh's influential legacy and his life as an unappreciated artist. Armand is initially reluctant to fulfill the task set for him by his father to return Vincent's final letter to his brother, but he is gradually drawn into the world of the man and his misfortune. As Armand progresses to undertake the task of returning a final letter, he becomes more passionate and considerate to the contributions of an artist who was adamant on finding beauty within the seemingly insignificant, a man who deemed himself a non-entity, unable to contribute to society, a man who considered himself unworthy, but that if he could bear his heart within his paintings that people can enjoy, maybe others too could appreciate the things that were seemingly insignificant. As Armand comes to learn more of Vincent van Gogh, so does the viewer, especially those who may be unaware of the man's misfortune and mental health struggles. Just like Armand, we come to share a compassion for this man we will never have the chance to meet, because we too empathise with his psychological struggles, the stigmatisation he faced for openly fighting his demons, and how someone so tormented managed to always find the beauty that surrounded him. The focus of Armand's goal, while he is adamant to learn whether Vincent did or didn't take his own life, becomes less the journey to receive closure for Vincent's death, but instead the goal depends on learning of Van Gogh's impact on those who surrounded him, a man who was loved by his brother and persecuted by many within his community, a man who felt his continued existence was a source of turmoil, but in his death he becomes sorely missed. In conclusion, Loving Vincent is a tender portrayal of the final days of Vincent van Gogh from multiple perspectives, as well as the deepening appreciation of an unappreciated man from the point of view of Armand, and somewhat indirectly also from the point of view of the audience. While the creation of Loving Vincent via painted canvas, replicating live-action shots, is incredible, the heart of the film offers a life-affirming message for the audience to continue spreading their loving contributions to the world, no matter how small they may be deemed. In the eyes of Vincent van Gogh, nothing was insignificant, and everything is beautiful. A special thank you to my incredible tier Patreon supporter Gil, and my super tier Patreon supporter Constantine Bombelli.